Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Miami Dolphins Talk Sports Network post-game show. I'm your host, Bobby Talk, joined by Mr. Neil and Evan Posner. Dolphins, I've been claiming all year I want to see consistency, and they've been consistent in this stretch, losing 5 in a row. Let me first welcome everyone in the comments, and I'm watching on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't yet, smash that like and subscribe button. We're going to try to be as positive as we can be, but how can you when you're 8-8 and you're back to the same old Dolphins? Steve in the house, Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com, Ender. We see you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Let me get first to the man on my right, is it right? I don't know. F it. Doesn't matter. I'm all messed up. Listen, Neil, first off, how are you? And then how the hell are you as a Dolphins fan? Go for it.
I'm alive. I've got a family, it's 2023, it's the first day, so I'm starting off the new
Happy New Year, everybody. Same old shit. We lost
as a Dolphins fan, Bobby, I am in mourning. I'm wearing black for the occasion, and I am here to mourn the Dolphins season because, in my opinion, it's over. It's over.
Okay.
I've got the facts and the evidence to back up how I feel, and we'll get to that, but
yes,
that's how I'm feeling right now.
I got you. Evan, you are in New York. You are with the family, but you still wanted to, and you're dedicated as hell, not just to the network, but to the Dolphins, and you were driving with Dolphins gear, you told me, and you took it off mid-game or whatever. Man, first off, how was your New Year? Let's get the pleasantries out of the way, and then how are you feeling right now as a Dolphin fan?
What's up, Kat? My New Year's Eve was great. It's great with the family. We decided to drive halfway to New York. We're going to New York City tomorrow, but I thought I'd drive halfway. I could listen and watch the game on the way, just enjoy it, not be stressed by it. Honestly, I was okay until the fourth quarter. And like I said, I was wearing my Dolphins gear. I planned on walking around New York City, bragging to all these Jet fans that the Dolphins had made the playoffs because we knew the Jets were going to lose today. And I got here and I took off my gear so fast because I didn't want to be laughed at. And when I saw a few guys in the mall that I went to have supper wearing Dolphins gear, I almost turned my head and I almost laughed. I go, I'm embarrassed to be I'm not embarrassed to be a Dolphins fan today, but it's just, I'm like I said last week on the post-game show, I'm not surprised by this, but what upsets me the most about this is that we have somebody as a leader of a football club who I would not trust right now to drop my kids off at school, because if I gave him one direction, he's going to go in the opposite direction. No matter what this guy has the opportunity to do, you give him the riches of riches. I've been saying since week 4, the guy craps the bed. Fire this coach at the end of this season. He does not deserve to be a head football coach, to lose the way he lost. He is now the biggest loser of football. He makes Cam Cameron look like a hero to me. He's awful.
Oh,
awful,
stop.
Awful. I'm not kidding.
Don't do that. You got okay, explain yourself. Hold on. Because as especially Dolphin fans that's gone through the years and went through all the crap that we've gone through, you got to say McDaniel.
I yearned for the Wannstedt years. Come on, we yearned for
Wannstedt. Don't talk trash about Wannstedt. That's why I don't. Wannstedt won us a playoff game. I see people talk too much shit about Wannstedt.
No, because
give me Wannstedt any day of the week, bro. I'll take Wannstedt right now.
This team, even with Teddy Bridgewater at center, or even Skylar Thompson, the weapons around them are a top 3 or 4 offense in the AFC, and he's putting up 21 points. He's putting up 7 points in the first half. I don't care what the defense is. You have a better offense than they have a defense. You have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle didn't get seen in the first half. I think overall he has taken gold and turned it into copper. He has devalued what the Miami Dolphins are. He's had every opportunity, and look at Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll took Danny Dimes and the New York Giants, and they're going to the playoffs, and they're going to enjoy next week. We are next week going to back ourselves into the playoffs. And I'm going to tell you this right now, him, Chris Grier, I don't care what happens the rest of the year, get rid of them, say sayonara, get a new sense of here. This last 25 years since Wanstead has been a disaster. Do something. That's why I'm not upset with the fact that they lost today. I'm not surprised that they lost today because it's the same old Dolphins. It's the same old Dolphins. But the difference is that we have more talent on this team than we've had in 25 years, and he still couldn't do better than Flores.
I think he's a prisoner. I think he's a prisoner of the talent. You want to, Tyreek. Yes, no, he is.
He outsmarts himself.
Hold on a second. The problem is he's a prisoner of the talent. He knows he has Tyreek. He knows he has Jalen Waddle, two of the best receivers in the NFL. What does he do? Even with Teddy Bridgewater and Skyler, he continues to throw the ball when not running the football. They rushed for 25 total times today. That includes rush from Teddy and Skyler. He rushed 25 total times and only passed 40 times. So 40 times passing the football with Teddy and Skyler and only 25 times rushing. He's a prisoner of the weapons. If you get a coach who's a veteran or someone who knows how to handle, balance that out, you got a winning football team. Let me just cap Carlos. I see you there. Thursday, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. Fish Tank Hank in the house. Is this post game or venting Evan? Oh, post game is usually venting Evan. Fish Tank, just prepare, sit back, and get ready for bandwagon on Tuesday night.
No, bandwagon ain't happening this week.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh, how a coincidence. How lucky for you.
I'm in the Big Apple. What am I supposed to do?
I know. All this blame going on Tua and his skills, and today we witnessed the skill set of Teddy and Skyler. Nothing positive to say about those two players at all. Shaking my head.
Could I just make one point?
You've been making a lot of points. Go for it.
I want to make a very key point.
Yes, sir.
Bobby was right. I'm going to tell you this right now. Bobby was right before the season started, and Bobby is right now. Was the job finished? The job was not finished. We all agreed before the best of the season we liked McDaniel, but we wanted a veteran coach. And what Bobby said came true today and was reproven today. What we basically have is great talent on paper, but we do not have the infrastructure to utilize that talent to win. That is our problem.
Well, I appreciate that. And it's like I said, I always want to be wrong. And again, McDaniel during the season showed promise. It's the same thing with Tua as the quarterback. You could succeed with those type of weapons. The problem is you don't evolve. It's not just season to season. It's in season. You need to evolve with the NFL. And the Dolphins did not do that. They continued to passing deep and hoping for big games and high scores and all that when you should have been running and passing. They keep thinking, let me just keep airing it out. We got Tyreek. And really, you're killing Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. Waddle probably got hurt today. Neil brought it up earlier. Bobby was wrong on the record. That is true. I was wrong on the record, Dolphins thirsty. Thank you. But but guess what? Most of the Dolphin fans were. We were 14-3 and all this. Well, wake up call, But thank you, Rob, for coming on in. And
the only consolation prize is the Jets are out of the playoffs. That's the only consolation prize.
That is the only consolation prize. And, but, of course, they lose to Seattle. Let's see what they do against Miami next week.
They're not nothing to play.
Yeah, well, they love to upset everybody. Well, first off, let me tell everybody who's in here. If you want to come on the post-game show and vent your feelings and talk Dolphins with us, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to drop the link below. Let's keep it rolling. Justin is not here tonight. He needs to take the night off. That's okay. He deserves it. He's busting his ass with scouting reports and everything else. I think he will be on Dolphins Thirsties, Dolphins Daily tomorrow on YouTube at 10 a.m. So let me see. We missed it, but let me go ahead. Pop that link in there. There's the link, guys. Anybody who wants to come on, talk some Dolphins, vent with us, tell us what you're thinking. Please hop on. We welcome you all. We thank you all for tuning in. Smash that like and subscribe button. So let's go over these numbers as we're waiting to see if anybody pops in, guys. And we know how we're feeling, okay? Dolphins lose 23-21. The last touchdown for Miami was a Skylar Thompson touchdown to Mike Gesicki. Miami now 8-8 on the season. They're on the outside looking in. The Patriots are sitting at that 7th spot. Now, if Miami wins against the Jets next week and the Patriots lose against Buffalo, I believe they're playing, Miami gets in. The only reason I'll tell you right now in regards of McDaniel and Greer, a lot of people are popping in. All right. I see Cap in the house. I see Rob and Fish Tank. I'm going to pop you guys in just a second. Bear with me. Let me just get through these numbers. Again, We talked all week from Dolphins Thursday on Dolphins Daily to Fins Talk Sports Network, Fins Talk Today with Fish Tank and myself and Evan, Cat for Life on this week as well. We talked that in order for Miami to win a football game was to control the clock, which they did. I think they were most of the clock, but run the football. They didn't. They had 27 rushes and 40 passes in this football game. Mozart led the team in receiving, 8 receptions, 62 yards, and a touchdown. Hill only had 4 receptions for 55, and Waddle 3 receptions, 52. Gesicki had a touchdown. Sanders, Evan's favorite player in the Dolphins, missed the field goal. And again, the Dolphins need to beat the Jets next week, and the Patriots need to lose against Buffalo. So, sucky situation for Miami, but hey, here we go. So let's first welcome in Cap for Life is in the house. There's Cap. We got Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com and the one and only Fish Tank. Hey, we got a full house. I love it.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
Hey guys, fins up still.
Fins up always. All right, let me, since Hank is right under me, and he's my co-host on Fins Talk today, I'm going to start with him with his quick, raw reaction to
Fish
the Dolphins loss today.
What's up, Holmes? What's up?
Cap for Life in the house. Gotta love it. Hank, man, we both predicted a win, but ended up being a loss. Dolphins are 8-8 on the year, sir. What is your reaction to this game and your thoughts?
Hey, my thoughts are the same as they were when I commented about it yesterday, that this wasn't going to be a pushover game. You asked me if I thought it was going to be a pushover game, and I said,
right.
No. I said, I'm concerned with their defense, and their defense came today. Their defense came, and it showed up. It wasn't a simple game. And you said other people were saying how simple it was, and we debated that, I guess, slightly, but you and I both, I think, agreed that it wasn't going to be a pushover game, and it wound up coming across really good. You know what I mean? It was a stinker. It was a stinker. I mean, I don't know how else you can put it. Everything fell apart. The wheels came off the bus. Skyler couldn't do much, and I hope he's ready next week because he's going to be who's playing, I guess.
Read Senate, please. Read Senate. Read.
Oh, stop it.
I'm serious. Let's start about Skyler.
Let's get over to Dolphins Thirsty of Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com. He is host of Dolphins Daily every day on his YouTube page, and of course, co-host of Real Talk Fins Talk on Tuesday nights. If you're thirsty for Dolphins content, that's your dude right there, Dolphins
Thirsty.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you for the warm welcome on this otherwise cold day to be a Dolphin fan.
Yes, sir. How you feeling, brother? How was your New Year?
Hey, look, as you guys know, well, Hank, I think, cast me by a few years, but I've been a fan many years. So it's like I'm used to this crap year in and year out, unfortunately. And then you guys are too, but it doesn't surprise me anymore. It almost doesn't even hurt as much anymore because I'm so used to it, waiting for that other shoe to drop, and it always seems to drop. This year, I mean, you're at 8-3, and you're thinking, wow, life is great. This is finally the year. I started walking around confident, thinking this is a year. I got rid of that notion, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, because I finally bought in again. I'm always bought in. I wouldn't have a website for the Dolphins if I wasn't bought in. If you look up the definition of homer, it's my picture when it comes to the Dolphin, dictionary. But this one hurt. It was a gut punch. What can I say? I know a whole bunch of other people. Cap is shaking his head. And Cap, you need to get on my show one day. You're an awesome guest. So anyway, it was an ugly win from Evan's favorite kicker, missing. I know that kick, because New England would have played the game different at the end instead of going for it on fourth down. So I know you can't put it all on Sanders, but still it did have a big influence on the game, So it stunk. We could just never get it going on offense, and it just stunk. I let Cap talk now, and he's patiently waiting.
Cap,
wake up, Cap! You're on.
There it is. There he is. What's up, brother? Your thoughts, my man?
My blood pressure. This is yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is, but at least we can have some type of, like, I don't know, man. If you want to look at a bright side, the first half, the defense gave up only 7 points. I mean, besides that, I mean, guys, let's just be honest with ourselves right now. It is what it is right now, man. All hands on deck. Everybody just sat down today to make sure that this last game coming up right now is the make or break game right now. Let's be real
Go
right
Buffalo. I forgot to say that. Go Buffalo. We don't say that too often.
I don't want to say that, but you're reminding me right now. Golly, I don't know. God.
What do you mean, go Buffalo? Why would you say such a thing?
We need them to win.
Because even if we win,
Who are they playing? They're playing who? New England?
New England.
Yes, New England has.
Hey, come on, New England, you can lose.
Okay, there. Okay, New
Buffalo.
England. There, that's I guess that's said better. Better said.
That's what I did.
Oh God.
So we see Cap's visible emotion. He doesn't have a lot to say, but you see that emotion. But let's get this conversation rolling. He says, "What is blood? Drink some water, kumbaya."
What are you gonna say?
That's right. Oh, he'll be back.
Oh, look, he's in mourning.
He's in mourning. Neil, you had a lot to say before the show, and I know you've been right. I wanted to get your quick thoughts on everything, but go ahead. The floor is yours, and we'll go ahead and carry on this conversation. We got a lot of comments, so we'll get to those. Everybody, thank you all for tuning in. Man, we got a full house. This is awesome. We got Fish Tank on his first post-game show. We got Rob, Evan Potler in the house, and of course, Neil and Cap is in the background there. So, Neil, you're in mourning, my friend. Dolphins 8-8. They are hoping that the Patriots lose next week and they beat the Jets. But to be in this situation right now, especially when the Dolphins were 8-3, they were on top of the world, number one in the AFC East, number 2 in the AFC, fighting for the number 1 seed. Now they have fallen from grace. It's a crappy way for the end of the season. I mean, even if we win next week and we get the playoffs, how much confidence do you have that we make it past the wild card? Answer that first, and then go ahead with your spiel that you were talking to me about before the show.
I will. And I want to preface what I have to say. First, I just want to apologize to all of the listeners. Andrew, Mr. Miami, Cap, Ender. Last week I got on here before the game, and I sold some hope. At least I tried to. Maybe I was trying to sell hope to myself when I was doing that.
Hey, man, no said, my brother. No said.
And, I tried to say that, this team could do what it needed to do to beat a bad Patriots team, because that's what happened. This is a bad Patriots team. I mean, they just are. I didn't see anything. The defense, yes, they are good. I'll give them that, but we had the talent today to beat that team. Doesn't matter. We had it. And even though we have some talent deficiencies, which is it's a bigger picture issue, we had the talent we needed to beat this Patriots team today, and we failed in embarrassing and shameful fashion. And the worst thing that can happen is when we have hope in a hopeless situation. And I feel like I contributed to part of that, and I'm sorry for that, and I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm at a point now, after seeing what I saw today and really just the culmination of everything, that I don't have that kind of hope for this team.
Bro, you don't have to apologize for anything, bro.
I think that
we all got fed false hope.
Next week we're going to play the Jets, right? And they don't have anything to play for, really, other than just embarrassing us. And to be honest with you, I think they have more will to win with only that, with only the possibility of embarrassing us and eliminating us. It feels like they have more motivation than we do. And
no,
don't
stop it. Stop it. I know where you're going with it. Don't do it. Don't go there.
I'm going there, dude. I am all the way there now. I'm there. And
no. We will not let you go there. This is not over, bro. This is not over.
It's not over. It's not over yet.
It is.
Oh God, I hope it's not over.
Still another game to go.
Cap,
it is.
Cap, it's not over.
I know you.
Oh God, I hope it's not over.
You know what? Is it 100% over? Nothing's a 100% over. But I'm telling you right now, I feel it's over. And I don't
feel like the regular season. I feel like we can get to the postseason. I mean, I feel like the dream of winning finally after 20 plus years of not winning a playoff game. I feel like that feeling's been
I don't even
sucked
think
out of
this
me.
team can't.
I can see it happening this week that we finally roll out a win. Just, we got to beat a bad team eventually. And, I feel like we will win.
And they
go watch Buffalo go choke and lose, or watch us both lose and freaking Steelers. I don't know. Are they playing tonight, the Steelers, though? But I don't know. But, they were still mathematically. I go, now watch them because freaking Pittsburgh always manages to make the freaking playoff. I go, watch us all choke and they sneak in after all that.
Here's the thing about next week that is shocking. Not shocking, but this is the reality of it. It all really comes down to when the Chiefs play. If the Chiefs play before the Bills and lose, they're not starting Josh Allen in that game. And then what? The Patriots could win that game in Buffalo. And who cares what happens against? And here's another thing. In 2016, I was in law school, and I remember vividly watching the Steelers destroy us. And I remember everything about that game because of how traumatic that game was.
Because we had smacked them in the regular season. That game sucked. Yeah.
That's what's going to happen to us against Kansas City because this team my bigger picture take on this, and I'll use an NBA analogy to get there. Okay. Michael Jordan had to beat the Pistons to get to the NBA finals, and eventually win championships. And, there was always Bird and Madsen and the things that they had to do, the teams that they had to beat. The Miami Dolphins have to beat themselves in order to get out of this slump. In order to get out of this 20 years of embarrassment and shame, the Miami Dolphins only can look themselves in the mirror because they have consistently been the thing that has held them back. And it's not happening this year. They can't do it, and they won't do it.
Nah, there's one game left.
Evan, what do you think, Evan? He's losing attention over there, Bobby. Make sure Evan's paying attention.
He's patiently waiting. He's biding his time. But yeah, Evan, I'll let you start. You could respond to Neil and what your thoughts are to what he's saying.
Okay. Let's make it very, very clear and really simple. I said at the beginning of the year, Bobby and I had an argument. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bobby and I had an argument at the beginning of the year, and this is where I'm going to go with it. He would take a Super Bowl in 20 years of mediocrity. I wanted a team that was built to win consistently. The problem with this team, going back 20 years since Dave Wannstedt and we won a playoff game, is we have had a broken structure with new people taking over the position of the Miami Dolphins. There's no foundation of winning in the Miami Dolphins franchise. And until we get a structure of a winning attitude, we're never going to win. So what Ross was trying to do with Sean Payton, Tom Brady, all this nonsense, is he wanted to bring in winners to win because that's what he cares about. Us as Miami Dolphins fans, if you look at us on Twitter today, we are ripping each other to shreds, saying if you say that Tua is this, I'm going to block it. We are the most polarizing fan base, and it's sad that we all can't unite and come together with one common goal, which is to be proud of the Miami Dolphins. The problem we have right now, and today is a microcosm of the whole thing. The New England Patriots had under 250 yards of total offense, and we still lost the football game. We dominated in time of possession. We still couldn't get off the field on third down somehow. We were awful on third down. We didn't have a balanced attack, and we still put up 21 points. And also, there was no adjustment. Look what Skylar Thompson said. Skylar Thompson wasn't ready even to come in. He said, I had time to throw the ball twice. He wasn't ready, and he didn't even look ready again. The team is 17. We've now been week 17, and the Miami Dolphins look like they're still in training camp. The people still don't know their routes. Most of the interceptions and the drop balls, the player hadn't even turned yet because this anticipatory concept of football, this new age of football, isn't working. Honestly, I am convinced right now, until there is a structure with a veteran president of operations where they go get that person to build a structure, a foundation, you could put Aaron Rodgers, Derrick Henry, everyone on that field, and because they're wearing an aqua and orange uniform, they're going to lose. And it doesn't matter if they win next week because because they're going to go into the playoffs. And what are they going to prove? The same old Dolphins? There's no structure of winning attitude here. It's, we just made the playoffs. How can we even be proud of a team and proud of a foundation that for last year wasn't expected to do much, was 1-7 and finished 9-8, and the best record we could possibly finish with next week is 9-8 and maybe sneak into the playoffs. My problem is a foundational issue with Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel, and he still didn't adjust today. He still didn't adjust. I said it on the Vince Talk to Tay yesterday. I said it yesterday. If you have way more passes than runs, you're going to lose this football game. And he did it again. He did it again, and he can't get out of his own way. And I've never seen a guy call timeouts for the wrong reason. No one knows the play. They always are calling timeout because they can't get the play in. He is he's outsmarting himself. He's not built to be a football coach. He's not built to be a head coach.
So
that
Evan
is what I'm convinced of, and he reproved it for me again today.
Okay.
He does not belong to be a football coach because even Josh Boyer, the Keon Crossan, how do you? It's just everything around it. I want a head coach, not an offensive. I'm telling you, he's worse than Adam Gase. At least Adam Gase got us to the playoffs.
Okay. All right. So you're fully on board of drop McDaniel, win, lose, or draw. You're done.
Drop McDaniel and Greer, win, lose, or draw.
Okay. All right. Quick answer, yes or no. We'll start with Cap, Neil, Rob, and Fish Tank. In regards of Coach McDaniel, rookie, 8-8 on the year. Cap, should the Dolphins get rid of McDaniel?
I mean, I get Evan's frustration, but you guys need to realize, man, like the owner of the team got suspended, a doctor got fired, a coach got fired. We're in a situation where we're pretty much knowing right off the bat, even though I know off the rip nobody wants to admit it, there was a cover-up going on here. So we got two cover-ups, all this stuff going on right now, and you want to blame everybody but the quarterback?
So you're saying, okay, so he's had his attention's on the wrong guy. It's not Mike McDaniel. You're talking the quarterback. You're talking Tua.
Look, man, at the end of the day, Stephen Ross is tied to Tua, not McDaniel tied to Tua. This is the problem right now.
I disagree with you.
At the end of the day, I blame Nick Saban for all this. And if you guys don't want to believe it, look at the track record. I mean, just look at it, man.
So for you, okay, so how can I say, let's say this. Miami this offseason, they say we're going to roll with McDaniel. Your thing would be roll with McDaniel and move on from Tua. Is that where you stand?
I mean, for me, if you're gonna keep McDaniel as a rookie coach, I mean, at the end of the day, that's the bed you lied in.
Okay.
So, for us to push back after we fired Flores after 2 years, and we fired Greer after how many years? It's gonna look very, very suspect. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys anymore, man. I really don't. Like, I know my vocal point. You guys have your opinion. I have mine.
Yes, sir.
But at the end of the day, we're in this position because of you know what. And if you don't know, then you're living in denial, man. I can't tell you anything else, man. I really can't. This is
all right.
bad,
Hey,
bro.
everybody has their opinion. That's why I'm asking. So Neil, let's roll. Neil, let's roll with you now, and then we'll go Dolphins Thirsty, and then Fish Tank. Same thing. You see what Evan's talking about, and you see what Cap brought up now. So let's roll with that. So if let's win, if the Dolphins get in the playoffs, I think Ross will convince himself that everything's fine and we move forward. If the Dolphins lose, all bets are off. If Miami loses next week against the Jets, or they win and they're eliminated because the Patriots win, do the Dolphins move on from Mike McDaniel, or should they move on, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think the better question is should, because I think the likely thing that's going to happen is, people have an uncanny ability to talk themselves and convince themselves that things happened for a certain reason. And it could be accurate or it could not be accurate. And unfortunately, I think in the exit interviews that occur at the end of the year, Greer and McDaniel are going to be able to point to the injuries, and they're going to be able to get Ross to give them another chance, which sucks. But so for me, the question should be, should Mike McDaniel come back? And it is a much longer conversation for me, and I can explain myself later on just to keep things moving. But I believe the answer is no. I think McDaniel should be fired.
Okay. Rob?
But
No,
here's
real quick,
Lace a
before
problem with
Rob
all
speaks.
of us because we all say we want
Real quick, before Rob
consistency in
speaks,
the
can I say
Oh,
something
go
real
ahead,
quick?
Cap. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Rob. I need to cut in here because I know
No
Neil
problem.
is set on that mindset. But at the end of the day, I mean, being a paralegal, if you look at the paper trail right now, from everything I just told you right now, I mean, the NFL just cleared us right now pretty much without any issue. That means to me that they're going to shut down Tua for the season. But at the same time, there's reports coming out that our medical staff is going to have to pay the price for that. So if someone gets fired from the medical staff, a doctor's been fired, a coach has been fired, the owner of the team's been suspended, everything is pretty much circling around the quarterback. I mean, how much more drama do we need going into the next season, knowing that we're going to have to get a veteran quarterback to compete with him? Is that not much more drama coming in? But
I mean,
later,
Cap,
when you have
I
time,
think
go ahead,
that-
bro. I'm sorry. I don't
No.
understand.
No, man. No, it was your turn, man. Don't worry. You can always butt in. You can butt on me now.
No, go
But
ahead,
that's the
Rob, go
problem
ahead.
with.
I mean, I need Neil to think about that for a second.
All right, yeah, he can think about it while I'm yapping away. But to me, the one problem with the Dolphins is that that's what we always do. It's like every 3 years we start the whole damn process over again, and that's what we've learned to accept. And then that's our big off season, and we're like, oh my god, did you hear him in the interview on the fucking airplane on the way over? He's great. Oh my god, he's the greatest coach, and we put him on a pedestal before he ever even gets here. Oh, I would run through a wall for him. Well, unfortunately, we're not playing for him, so it doesn't matter if we're going to run through a wall for him, and that's what we always buy into. So yes, it's easy to say fire him. And then I'm not saying keep him at all costs, but I definitely say if he goes, Greer has to go. You cannot let Greer
No,
pick
1,000% agree with that. Yep.
You cannot let Greer
agree
pick
with that.
again
I
because
agree
he
with that.
picked Flores and he picked, so it's just he has to go. But yeah, it's just frustrating because I really don't know. I wish I could get in the mind of Ross because maybe I would have his bank accounts too if I could be in his mind. I don't know what he's thinking, but I can see from a fan perspective people being upset because a lot of it looks like it's play calling. But, it could just be because, look, our best player this year, at least on offense, is Tyreek Hill. But he screwed up today on a drive that killed us. Skylar Thompson had a big run, but Hill got called for an illegal procedure. Very next play, Skylar throws him a catchable ball, it bounces off his hands, and it's an interception. So, our best players today hurt. So it's really hard to know why blame that on the coach when stupid. You can say, yeah, players shouldn't be doing illegal procedures at this time of the year, and you can throw that on the coach. But it's
Special
just
teams, field goal kick.
But to me, that was like upset. And I'm not blaming Tyreek Hill at all, but he on that drive hurt us because we were driving. Skylar Thompson scrambles for a big first down, and then there's a flag on the field, and it was Tyreek Hill. And then the next play, he catches has a catchable ball, and it bounces off his hand. It's an interception for the Patriots, and we never got back in the contest again. So to answer that, I really don't know what's best for the Dolphins. I really do. But if one goes, they both have to go. It's not this 50-50 crap. So anyway, that's it. That's all I say. I really don't know because I've seen stuff I like from McDaniel and I've seen stuff I haven't liked from McDaniel this year is what it boils down to. So
it's really all three of them, though. I mean, I think that you have to. I think the best way forward, and this is hard for me to say because, as a fan, I've never identified or rooted harder for an individual player than I root for Tua to succeed.
Amen.
But I do have to say that I think you need to, the best thing for the team going forward for the years to come would be to cut bait on McDaniel, Greer, and Tua. Just cut bait and figure it out. Because
clean house.
Right now, if
clean
one
house.
of them stays,
I agree.
If one of them stays, I just think that because Cap's got a fair point. I mean, there is going to just be a lot of controversy, a lot of drama surrounding the team if one of them stays. And that's why I think in order to just try to get the ultimate thing is this team to stop getting in its own way, it needs a good foundation. And in order for that to happen, you've got to cut bait on all three of them.
Okay. First off, let me just remind everybody you're watching the post-game show, Miami Dolphins post-game show on the FinStop Sports Network. Smash that like and subscribe button. Everyone tuning in, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, thank you all for tuning in. We got a full house. I just love the panel right now, and everybody in the comments, Christopher, Andrew, Tortoise Johnny, Miami, Mr. Miami 305, everybody, thank you all for tuning in. And of course, Cat for Life in the house as well, actually in the show. He's in the back, popping in and out. But Fish Tank Hank, usually you and I are talking on Saturdays, and then we talk a little bit on Tuesday nights, not on Sunday nights after a game. But you're hearing what the guys are talking about. I know, you and I we've talked about this. We were together last year when you and I were discussing that. Remember, we talked about when we were going that 7-game losing streak with Flores and Greer. I said, man, we need to let go of Flores and Greer. And, we debated a little bit. End of the season, they fire Flores and keep Greer. Big problem writing on the wall. They go with McDaniel. They keep Greer into the season. We're at it again, my man. We're talking about possibly moving on from the coach or the GM. You're hearing what the guys are saying. What are your thoughts on the situation or what Miami should do?
It's a business decision at the end of the day. It has nothing to do with personalities or anything like that. And if the owner can bring in better talent than we currently have, that's the roster. That's at the GM position. That's the front office, anybody. That's scouting. That's whoever. Anytime you can bring in a better person to get the job done, you do it. Is Sean Payton available? Is Harbaugh available? Who's available next year that we can bring in? As far as cutting Tua goes, for me, it just doesn't make sense to cut him yet, and I'll just tell you why. It doesn't make sense to cut him financially. That's why. That's the only reason why. And you can keep him as a backup and bring in whoever you want to bring in and still keep him as a backup for chicken feed. I mean, the guy already knows the system. Not saying that.
Fish Tank, don't you think that's going to bring more drama, though, Fish Tank?
No, I don't think so, because I think that they would focus around the team more than, and especially if you get rid of the GM, the head coach, your scouting team is going with that GM too, because you got a lot of talent on that scouting team. Just so you know, in that front office. And
I got one question for all you guys. How attractive is the Dolphins? Say McDaniel we lose this week. It's a total meltdown. They lose. Is this an attractive job? Because Peyton's going to have his pick of the litter. Is Denver more attractive? I know you guys follow the rest of it. I'm Miami Dolphin through my blood. That's the team I always follow. I don't know how many other teams go. I know Denver's is already gone, so that's going to be an open spot. I know Indianapolis isn't. They don't have anyone sexy at the quarterback position, but is Russell Wilson sexier? Because you think Sean Payton, I could win with Russell Wilson?
I think, in regard to the Dolphins situation, I think he answered that at the beginning of the year when that report came out that Peyton and Brady were tied together to go to Miami. I think Peyton likes what he sees with Miami, especially now when you add Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. You go, okay, what are these other pieces that I could add? And this is the difference between, for me at least, when you look at the Denver Broncos. They're really tied. People say we're tied to Tua. Really, we're not. Like Fish Tank says, which is a great point. Financially, it's easy to keep him on the books and still go get another guy. Right. And then, or you could use that as a little thing and say, okay, let me try to trade him, get a pick. But when you look at Denver, for instance, they're tied to Russell Wilson. They got him a lot of money, so you got to figure out how to get him to be Seattle Russell Wilson compared to Denver's. So honestly, I think Miami's a very attractive job. What makes it toxic, or what makes it people, I think, in my opinion, it's like, I don't know if I want to go to Miami. If Ross says, okay, we're firing McDaniel, now he might have an inside thing with Peyton, but to other veteran coaches or coaches that may want to come here, the only thing that I think will hold coaches back is Chris Greer is still sitting in the front office. If he fires McDaniel and says, okay, come over here, here's your general manager, here's this, then it's going to be a problem.
Now, Peyton's going to demand that. He's going to either have a pseudo GM that works with him, or he's going to want it.
He's going to get one. He's going to want somebody that knows how he likes players and everything else.
As long as it's not Jeff Ireland, I'm okay. But he always talks. If you ever see Peyton interview, you can Google it. He's always talking great about Jeff Ireland. That's why I made up that one rumor the other week, but I just need doing it. But he loves himself some Jeff Ireland. So I would be like afraid that would be the guy. But I just don't see
again,
that.
It doesn't, for me, look, if unless they're firing Greer with McDaniel, then don't fire any of them. Let McDaniel hire his defensive coordinator.
100%.
But if you're going to ride into next season, And maybe Greer has this thing with Peyton and they could work it. I don't know. But if you're going to fire one, you got to fire both. If you're not going to fire both, stop the recycling. You got to clean house.
Yeah.
Let McDaniel hire his D coordinator. Let him decide, hey, if Tua's really his guy or not, and let him roll into next season, and then you move on with no guys. Other than that, if you're telling me what I would do, I would say clean house. And that's not really, it's not a knock against McDaniel. It's just the fact that we keep doing this over and over again. We need to have a full front office in place to have the same game plan on how to build a roster and win.
So
McDaniel,
well, a veteran coach like Sean Payton, he also knows what to do with an offensive line, I might point out.
He does. And the other thing is, and that's the other thing, what comes with Greer. Yes, I saw somebody the other night, or maybe it was yesterday, I'm not sure, but somebody said, a lot of people are bad on Greer. He brought in Tyreek Hill. He drafted Jalen Waddle. He did this. He brought in Chubb. That's all great. You could go and make a lot of splashes. Guess what? The Miami Dolphins, they brought in Brandon Marshall, Mike Wallace, Sue. They brought in Joey Porter. They brought a lot of sexy names into Miami over the years. And guess what? We've won nothing, done nothing. Here's the problem. It's all good to go and get the big names and look sexy and sit there and go, oh, look what I did. What about the depth? What about the backup offensive tackle when three of your tackles get? What about your quarterback situation? What about your running back situation? It's more than just the star players. We traded for Bradley Chubb. We got Jeff Wilson. That was a good move. That was we have our eyes on the playoffs type of move, and I get it. But guess what? Bit you in the ass was the depth problems again because players get injured all the time.
That's why I've been hard on Greer all year. That's why I've been hit on all. But Evan, I saw you shaking your head when I asked if Miami's a sexy job. So do you think I want?
No, Miami's a very sexy job, Rob. Like I'm gonna keep saying, I'm gonna repeat this till I bang a drum. Until you bring in an established reputation, if the Dolphins, with the team that they have, they need veterans. They need a veteran GM, a veteran president of operations to guide Stephen Ross to make decisions, and a coach. I would not trust Mike McDaniel to hire anybody because so far everyone he's hired, from Frank's, even on the offense, I don't see anything high. The tight ends have not had a good year. John Embry hasn't had a great year. Wes Welker's not stars. Matt Applebaum has not been great.
I see you, Anthony.
Sam Madison has been pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Has been good.
Hey, guys.
Sam Madison, Patrick Surtain, those particular people are Dolphin royalty. That was on a very hard thing to do.
Wes Welker's doing okay, too. I know he has a lot there.
I'm talking about the structure of this team. How like I'm telling you, he's not a head coach, and Chris Greer is not a general manager. They are not leaders of men and leaders of this team. And as long as they are there, we will be a 9-8, 8-8, 10-7 type of team. We are not going to be an established football team in the NFL. Why would I want to come here? Because what people even realize, you got to give credit to Ross. At least he's trying to win.
Oh, he tries.
He's trying to win. He's trying to win, and he will give you everything you need to win. He'll give you all the money in the world to go sign whoever you want. If John Payton wants Tom Brady or he wants Aaron, he'll do whatever he needs to go get that job.
Oh, he was signed the check. For sure.
Guys, let's welcome Anthony to the panel. Anthony, thank you for tuning in, brother, and actually hopping. And we appreciate you, man. How you doing?
What's up, Anthony?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? I'm doing all right, man. It's glad.
Hey, Anthony, welcome.
Appreciate it for having me on, y'all.
Absolutely, sir. What's on your mind, my man?
It's over, man. I'm hurt. I mean, I had high hopes going in this game. I was like, all right, we got this one. But once again, we get let down from not only just play calling. It's funny how all of a sudden now we want to keep running the ball, but we couldn't run the ball against Buffalo. We stopped doing that on Buffalo, and then doing the, of course, quarterback situation. For some reason, I knew that with Teddy going in, I knew that he was going to get hurt and we're going to have Skyler in there. I knew this was going to happen. I mean, I saw it coming a long time ago. But for the people who love Skyler, once again, I said this on somebody else's show, Skyler is not ready. He's a project quarterback. We need a franchise quarterback. We need somebody that's going to be durable. And right now, it's just that's where the problem is. You know, we don't have anybody back there. Offensive line, we done wasted money on the offensive line. Teron Armstead, we can't keep him healthy. I mean, we knew that. We spent the money. defense wise, I mean, I can't really blame the defense because we got a bunch of rookies playing back here in defensive backs. But I mean, hey, you get what you pay for. You know what I mean? I don't know, dude. We made a lot of mistakes. Chubb, good luck with Chubb. That's a waste of money. He ain't. But I understand he takes a lot of stress off Phillips. I get that, but still, it's the same thing. It's God, dude. It drives me crazy. Tua Tagovailoa can't read a defense. He can't pass the ball more than 35 yards. I mean, I don't know what to do, man. But I'm about to give up, man. I'm about to throw the towel.
Nah, don't give up, man. Don't give up.
Nah, dude. I had high hopes in Tua. I was like, all right, Tua, come on. I'm not
Snap
a Tua.
out of it, man.
Come on. He just,
Wrong with you?
God, it makes you cry, man.
It is very. I think
There's a song.
Anthony still got one more game, bro. Don't give up on me.
Dude, but look though, Tua has given everybody Christmas gifts. He literally made it where the AFC is wide open now. But everybody can get the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh god,
everybody can make it. He gave Green Bay hope. They won today, and now here we are. We gotta pray and hope that
Christmas gifts for everybody else.
Yeah, I like that.
Merry Christmas, Tua.
Damn. Oh hell, that's true.
I mean, it's the truth. I mean, he gave everybody opportunity.
No.
Everybody.
You figure he went in and said, I need some holiday time off. Oh, I feel a concussion.
God.
Oh no.
That's lying. I mean, come on, the concussion lies. Stop it. It's a bad game. I mean, something just pops up the next day. McDaniels is like at this point, and on a serious note, at this point, it's gonna come down to Tua or our head coach. We should have never went after a rookie head coach. I don't know how many times we got to keep going through this. We should have got Sean Payton, but I think the reason why we didn't get him is because he didn't want to work with Tua. I mean, these are things they're trying to build confidence. Look here, dude. You're a grown man. You're in the NFL. We ain't got time for that. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
You got to grow up. You know, these are things. Why is Purdy doing things that Tua should have been doing 3 years ago? This guy just come out of nowhere and just boom. Look at him. I mean, he's balling. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, if I can play quarterback, I mean, God, anybody can. I mean, if you can't read a defense, at least manipulate the offense and make it look like you know what's going on. Like you look at, I guess you can say, for example, Tom Brady. Tom Brady might not read the defense. He might just holler out stuff and run a draw play for 8 yards. You know what I mean?
Brady's about to make the playoffs.
I know.
Thank you, Tua. Tua opened the door to everybody. Green Bay, the Chargers made it. They can sit up, kick their feet up comfortably, and here he is. We're still sweating to get in, and we were the best team in the AFC. What happened?
That's dude.
8-3.
8-3, and then look what's going on. We've lost 8-8 now, 5 straight losing. So Anthony, let me ask you this: you said it's durability. We need a franchise quarterback who's durable. Is that what makes Tua not a franchise quarterback in your opinion? Is that he can't stay healthy?
Well, the thing is, let me just say this: with Tua, the things that Tua is screwing up in, it could be fixed, but it's taking too long with the weapons that we have.
That's true.
I mean,
I get that.
Too long.
The window, it's a small window, man.
It is, and right now we have a team that's ready now. We don't have a team that's
true. That's why I think the job is sexy, Rob. I think it is a sexy job because there are weapons on this one. That's why when we talked about it before the year started, we were talking about the quarterback position. Evan and Fish Tank. Obviously, Fish Tank knows better than anybody. We've done a lot of shows. But when I said quarterback away, I said quarterback away. That doesn't mean that Tua can't be that. This was before the year because of the weapons that we had, and of course, what I thought the coaching staff was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it kind of showed that 8-3. But of course, those were against 20 ranked, 30 ranked defense. Yeah. And then when it comes to me and Hank argued about it too, but it was out there when we faced the number one defense in 49ers, it just went
yes.
And then it just and the offense, not too. I know a lot of people say Tua, but it's the offense and McDaniel that got exposed. It was that second half of Houston, and then of course 49ers finished it, you know, and then of course, and then after that, we were on our 5-game losing streak. It's a tough pill to swallow, and I get it. Anthony, man, I think you speak for a lot of fans in regards of the frustration, just like Cap, who could barely keep his blood pressure down. I mean, you can see the red coming down on him. But man, I mean, USA, kumbaya. But you know, tranquilo. You know, but what's the sad thing is, you know, you go to Fish Tank, starts at Fish Tank, ends with the youngest member. I don't know who's the youngest of the group, but I mean, Dolphins Thursday, Neil, Evan, myself, Anthony, Cap. Before that was Steve, who's right with Hank. You know, who saw the winning, but then just these years of the same recycling bull crap. And of course, when you hit the 2000s, that's when it really kind of hit. Where it's like Jeff Ireland, Rick Spielman. I'm messing up the order, but I'm just going. Dennis Hickey, Joe Philbin, Cam Cameron, Adam Gase.
Say a lot of people that sucked.
But but the problem is, instead of saying clean house and just flow, the smartest thing was when Weinheimer brought in Bill Parcells, who hired Jeff Ireland, who then hired Tony Sparano. That was the smartest. That was the best way to do it. And
the first year we made the playoffs.
Yeah,
1,000%, Bobby.
The same vision. And then guess what happened? Huizenga sells the team to Ross. Parcells doesn't want to work for Ross. He leaves. They end up going. They go interview Harbaugh while they still have Sparano. Then he has to give Sparano a contract. He fires Sparano, keeps Ireland. You know, it was I don't know who the hell the next coach was. I don't care. I think it was Philbin. It was just
that's when everything started, Bobby. That is when everything. I mean, when you disrespected Sparano after winning the AFC East the first year, that's when all hell broke loose, bro.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. You know, this might sound crazy, and you know, now it's starting to show that maybe Brian Flores, maybe that wasn't the issue. Maybe it was just that quarterback issue, because it seems like
Stephen Ross,
talent.
Let's be real, bro.
Talent, and still went 8-8 with less talent, and now here we are.
No, bro. Let's look at the origin. The point of origin is Stephen Ross. I'm sorry, bro.
I gotta put on Stephen Ross.
I will push back on
Stephen Ross too.
I will push back on the
money though. That's the thing. That's why we're hooked to him, because he does at least
write the checks though. He's the one.
I know Stephen Ross will write the check and go get the player, so he just picks the wrong guys to manage the team.
We can't get these rookie coaches. I mean, it just.
I do want to push back on.
You gotta have somebody with experience.
Well, I wanted the guy that was in Jacksonville now, and that was my number one choice going to Doug Peterson.
He's a really good coach.
He was my number one choice going into the
Dolphin.
But
I want to push back on the
former Dolphin, and they turned him down, bro.
Flores.
Yeah, I know. He's the one that got Don Shula's 347th victory. I mean, he's the one that broke the record. You know, I mean, he's the one that broke the old record, not the 347. That's what we finished with. But he's the one that broke the record. So, man, that would have been great bringing him back. I mean, we had that history tie and everything. Last year we probably weren't
Jacksonville makes the playoffs, and we don't.
Justin Herbert, Tua, he figured he had a better chance to win with Justin
Jacksonville
Herbert.
does Thirsty, how would you react if Jacksonville makes the playoffs and we don't?
I would be devastated. I would probably take.
Well, look at the division they're in. So there's this how that's going to fall, and you know that's it. I guarantee though, last year, I mean, if we won it, period, he would have taken the Jacksonville job. As much as it pains me to say that, because like all you guys, I root for Tua. He's a great guy. Root for him. But if you had the chance to either work as a coach with, you know, the pretty boy in Jacksonville or Tua, you're going to take the pretty boy in Jacksonville, because you know he's a baller, and Trevor Lawrence is starting to show why he was the number 1 overall pick.
Exactly, he can throw the football, man, and that's what we need. The thing is, the touchdowns, the wide receivers we have, like Tyreek Hill, Waddle, these guys are so fast. The timing has to be right, and you got to get the ball in stride, man, because Tua's not scaring nobody on that field. All they do is drop the safeties back about 30 yards and say, all right, look, he ain't going to throw it past this point. He's going to throw it the middle. We're going to cover the middle. We're going to stop everything. That Green Bay game was a prime example. After that 3-game losing streak, that right there just shown, all right, Tua, here, once again, you're in the spotlight. It's time for you to take charge. You threw 2 interceptions. All right, here we go. Make up for it. And once again, he stinks.
Let me tell you something, man. From everything
He's
I've
been
seen
doing
from the
that
All-22,
since college. He's done that in college. When you watch Alabama game,
the Tampa 2 is getting him, bro. From what I'm seeing on the All-22, the Tampa 2 is getting him, bro.
Yeah, Tua's only good in the zone. The zone, he's pretty good in the zone. Man coverage, he would fall apart because his main target is Tyreek Hill trying to make the big play. It's not about making the highlights. And I think that when we had the MVP conversation with Tua, that's when I think that our head coach was trying to he was stat chasing, trying to prove something that, I can make Tua a quarterback, and it's not working. And that, to me, I just think that Tua probably might need to take a step back.
I don't think it's as simple as that. I think
I want you guys to think about this real quick. Think about this real quick.
Hold on.
The last game, he was 200 yards short of 2,000 yards. The last game Tua was. So they're trying to force feed the yardage to him in order for Tyreek to break records also. I mean, we're starting to see this, man. You're running the ball, you're averaging 7 yards a carry. We know you're force feeding the ball and trying to get those yardages. That's what happened.
Let's Neil finish his point here. Go ahead, Neil.
I don't think it's that simple because the issues that this team has are foundational. Okay, it's not just one player. I mean, yes, has Tua made mistakes that have contributed to all of this? Sure, nobody really can make excuses for him. But to say that, the coaches are trying to, force Tua to throw the ball so that they stat pad and stat chase. It's not that simple. What's actually
when you say foundational, Neil, what do you mean by foundational?
No,
that means to me the trench.
I'll explain it to you. What I mean is this, okay? Yes, there's a lot of talent on certain places in the offense, right? Yes, we have two great receivers, okay? And we have really good running backs. Occasionally they'll fumble, but for the most part, they're decent. But again, we have a left tackle who can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
And we have a converted center, and we don't have a right tackle, and we don't have a right guard. Okay. And Robert Hunt, when he's not committing penalties, is good.
Yeah.
He's not great. But when he's committing penalties, he's killing drives.
Yeah.
So there's a talent deficiency on offense. It's
not all right. Well, look, real quick, Neil, before you even go any further, real quick.
Yeah.
Because you're about to go with the offensive line narrative. And the Cincinnati game and the Green Bay game.
Everything. Because it's not just
I hope you're not trying to bash on the offensive line because the Green Bay game and the Cincinnati game, he held onto the ball more than 4.3 seconds each time.
So what I'm trying to get to you is this, okay? It's yes, there is talent on offense and there is talent on defense. But this team is devoid of talent in very important parts of the offense and the defense that have consistently shown to be massive problems in every single game that has been played. And that is on Chris Greer and on Mike McDaniel, because it's on Chris Greer because there's no depth in those spots and they're not culminating the right talent in those big areas. For instance, on defense, yes, there's great pass rush, but you've got Xavier Howard, who may be over the hill at this point or is just getting injured too much. Okay. And then you had Byron Jones, who didn't play this whole year.
Wow.
So what happened when they're gone? You have undrafted rookies.
1,000%. I agree with you on that 1,000%.
And then what about your linebackers? What does Jordan Baker do?
Trash.
What does Jordan Baker do?
You're right. The secondary.
Where's Tyndall? Tyndall's a
AWOL. And you want him to be this quarterback spy extraordinaire. It never materializes. Okay, and why is that? It's foundational. Okay, and when we're talking about Tua's biggest failure is his availability. It's his biggest failure because if you look at his statistics, yeah, I agree. Tua's style of play is not the quarterback that Dan Marino, Josh Allen, is not Pat Mahomes. It's not how he's going to win games, right? But at one point this season, in the first 3 games of the season, Tua went out there, and when the game plan was correct, when they were running the ball and letting Tua game manage and hitting it deep when it was open, the Ravens is one of the most perfect examples, And the Bills game too, the first one and the second one. But the problem is with Tua is if you ask Tua to throw the ball 50 times, he's going to get hurt, or he's not going to be able to consistently succeed because, like Anthony said, defenses know what Tua does best, the middle of the field. Okay, if you don't run the ball, The linebackers, all they have to do is just sit in that middle of the field and take away what Tua does best, because Tua does – he's okay at throwing outside the numbers. It's not that he can't, but he's not great at it, right? And you're right, Tua doesn't have the biggest arm. It's all anticipation on most of those big throws, okay? But if you play too high safety and you stack the middle of the field and you're not running the ball, how is Tua going to do anything? They're taking away his strengths. And
if you play single high safety, it's different. But right now, they're reading it. You're right.
But that's why it's foundational, because there's one person who could have changed a lot of this, and it's the man in the graphic, Mike McDaniel. He could have seen the teams, and 2-2, and I'll get to that in a second. But first, I want to focus on McDaniel.
Okay.
I want to something that happened in the game. And I'm sorry I'm going a little long.
You're good, brother. Go ahead.
No,
Hey,
you're fine.
check it out. Look. Hey,
But here's
real
the
quick,
thing.
I'll be back. I gotta go harass Big E and Michael O over on DolphinsTalk.com. You guys check them out. DolphinsTalk.com.
Hey, don't drive
go raise up the
people
blood pressure
away.
real
Don't
quick.
drive
I'll be right
people away from Bobby's channel here.
But here's the
No,
thing
bro.
that
If
happened.
anything, I'm bringing everybody to Bobby's channel. Look at
I
the
know. You know
subscriptions. I'll
that,
be right
Cap.
back.
I want you
Let
to
me
come
go
to my
harass him real
channel
quick. I
too,
gotta
Cap.
raise up blood pressure. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Here's what I mean by foundational as it goes to the offense. So Anthony's right, man. Tua's not good when the defense is stacking the middle and they're playing too high safety. Tua's going to struggle because they're taking away his strengths. McDaniel could dial up some run plays to bring those linebackers in, or make the first read the guy in the flat, or make the first read Tyreek Hill in motion, running a short route and catching it there. But what's he doing? There's no adjustment. There wasn't any adjustment in the 4-game losing streak. And I want to point to when this game was lost today, because it's a microcosm of what's really happening with this team.
Right.
At 3 minutes and 51 seconds in the third quarter, the score was 14-10. The Patriots had just kicked the field goal. All right. And like every game that we've lost recently, McDaniel panics. He thinks that he has to push the pass, and he thinks he has to go into his bag. And so what does he do on 1st and 10? Passes, play action, Waddle incomplete.
Oh,
right?
my God.
So it's 2nd and 10 now. And what happens? McDaniel panics because he's probably like, oh, well, shit, I probably should have run the ball. So what does he do on 2nd and 10? He runs the ball. Well, guess what? It's too late. It's 2nd and 10. So now, and the run goes nowhere. So now it's 3rd and 10. Robert Hunt commits the penalty, the false start. We move back 5 yards, 3rd and 15. And now Teddy panics.
Yeah.
Because he's like, shit, I need to get the first down, and he throws the pick 6. And now it's 16-14. And what happens on the next drive? Pass, run, done.
Yep.
Then the next one, interception. No, the next one was interception. Skylar threw that pick. That's what happened that drive.
When it rains, it pours.
And then it was intercepted. And then it's like, well, what happens after that drive? Pass, Skylar. And this is all McDaniel at this point.
Yeah.
This is it. It was 16-14. He panicked. And that's why I said earlier that I don't like to overreact, but I think McDaniel is not the head coach for us in the future or much longer, because you can't have a head coach as a play caller who's just going to go away from a strategy that was working for almost a full 3 quarters when they score a field goal. That's just too panicky. That's crumbling under the pressure.
Let me get Fish Tank in here because he's been sitting quietly and he's been listening to everybody, and I'm just happy that he's here because this is his first post game all year. Anthony as well. Anthony, I'm excited to have you here, brother. I hope it's not the last time.
Man.
You're welcome here all the time, man. But Fish Tank, you're hearing everybody what they're saying, sir. What are your thoughts on everything that you've been hearing?
Well, like Neil's saying, he's right. He's absolutely right. It's a foundational thing. It goes throughout. But the foundation for me, he says it's McDaniel. I think it's the GM that created 90% of the problems, though, because we have no backups. We have no depth. We have nothing that we need. Mm-hmm. And that started with the foundation, with the GM and the scouts.
Yes.
I love the team that the GM has up there. I just don't like the picks that the GM's bringing in. always bringing in injured, hurt players. It's consistent. He does it over and over again and expects them to become all-stars, and it just doesn't pan out that way in the NFL. You need to be 110%, 110% of the time.
Yep.
Not 100% and maybe 70% or 60% in the games, because how much has Tua actually been in the games? You know, that's a problem itself. The McDaniel doesn't change the plays. I mean, Neil's absolutely right. None of the plays are he's not changing it up. He's not making it work like he should have. You know, he's running the ball when he should run, and run, you know, vice versa. He's passing when he should run, and it's back and forth.
Yeah. It just stinks that every year we're doing the same conversation about it's always the blame game instead of the praise game. I hope one day we're praising people. And no, it's just I'm a Dolphin fan. We have to blame because we don't make the playoffs.
It starts somewhere, and it starts with the GM. The GM hired the head coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I don't put too much of it on the first-year head coach myself, other than the fact that he makes some real bonehead decisions on his play calling.
No, you're 100% right, Hank. I just want one time as a Dolphin fan. Now I'm 53 years old. I just want one time to give praise, saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe they hired this coach. I can't believe they selected this quarterback. I can't believe this. I can't believe we're winning playoff games." And it's just like it sucks, and it's just like the rebuild tanked horribly. Because if you look at two organizations, the Eagles and the 49ers, they both had recent Super Bowls. Changed their coaches, changed their quarterbacks, but they're already back to winning. Yes, the 49ers lost their Super Bowls, but they still freaking got to the Super Bowl and started their whole rebuild within a couple of years and already back to being winning organizations. While we're like 20 years saying, well, we're going to fire this guy, bring in this guy, fire this guy, bring in this guy. And we just the same old, we're on the hamster wheel going around and around and around with no results other than like Evan before he left said. We're always meteor. We're always a mid team. Very seldom are we that stinky team.
We're Detroit Lions 2.0.
Yeah, no, it's sad. The Miami Dolphins have become mentioned in the same breath as the Detroit
I don't think we're as bad as that. I don't think we're as bad.
There's only one team longer than us without a playoff win, and it's Detroit. And if you look at our records right now, they're very similar. I don't even know what they won today. I don't even know what their record is, but
but numbers don't always tell the whole story. I mean, there are a lot of games that we've been robbed of. There are a lot of games that penalties killed us on.
Oh, I know. Believe me, it's just like we're always making these excuses, and I'm so tired of it. I just want to win.
There's so many different things. And when you say it comes around, it's on that same Ferris wheel, the same wheel running again and again. I totally understand what you're saying, but at the same time, we don't come in 8-3 and usually drop 5 straight games.
I mean that's horrible.
This has been something a little different than what normally happens. And not only that, we had players that could make a difference that we did bring in. So it wasn't a matter of the same old Dolphins, because the same old Dolphins usually sit back and let the year go how it goes, and they don't bring anybody else in. They just keep it going down the same road of suck. But at least they brought in Chubb. At least they brought in Armstead. At least they tried this time. But the problem is, the error is the GM. The GM's the big problem, because the GM keeps bringing in hurt people. And those people are always going to be hurt.
Well, Chubb is one of those hurt people that has a history of being hurt, and they bring in Chubb, give up a first-round pick, and huge money for him is the thing that's going to be the hurting
But Chubb has also made
we could have got 2 people for that money that we gave him.
It's not like he's not doing anything.
Yeah, but he was out today when we needed him the most. He was out again.
But that could have been
totally
Bradley Chubb, Xavier Howard, Terron Armstead, all out today in what was supposed to be a must-win situation. Of course, it's a really must-win.
I never blame someone for getting hurt. That's
no.
Sport, but it's just still when you do, it just sucks.
But again,
go ahead, Neil.
About Armstead, X, and Chubb being out is I am concerned because our GM and our coach have shown a lot of arrogance in the decisions that they've made. I'm concerned that they were arrogant in sitting them. I think that Armstead has played through everything. And this was the most.
Yeah, you think this is different. You don't think this is injury. You think this was, hey, I'm just.
I think they were like, hey, look, yes, they're hurt, but we don't need them in this game.
If that's the case, they fire them their asses.
I think they were
I
like,
agree. If that ever comes out, I agree. They're
I
gone.
think they could, and that'll never come out. But what I think happened is, and they're arrogant enough to make these decisions, is they were like, we can win this game without them, and they'll be healthy for the playoffs.
Right.
Because I don't think they ever wait when they got to 8-3. I think in their minds they were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was a foregone conclusion. They've acted like it the whole time. This losing streak, you know.
Of course.
Yeah.
And they've never had a sense of urgency. Think about the Chargers game, you know? Like,
Oh, my
God.
They were flat. That game, they were,
Atrocious.
yeah.
Like, if you want to rest Armstead at any game, you rest him then. You don't play him against the Chargers.
Yeah.
You know, you go back home and you play the Packers, you know? But it just – I think it was arrogance. I think Chubb could have gone. I think that
I had that gut feeling too, but I hope we're wrong. I hope we're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very, you know, I don't think you're out of order, you know, if that makes sense with what you're saying. I just think that if that is the case, that Miami sat those guys because they say, oh, we could take the Patriots, then they all need to be fired. I mean, we all talked about it. Hank and I talked about it last night. Yesterday with Evan in the afternoon, that the Patriots were not a walk in the park. They are the top. They're a top 10 in defense, 8 in the NFL. You know, and that showed up today. Even without Tua, when you have those type of weapons, you shouldn't only be scoring 21 points. I mean, I had it 21, but 7 points in the first half. It was ridiculous. My thing is with this football team. I know we're talking about this year, but we talked about earlier if this is a sexy team in regards to any kind of coach or general manager, if they actually fired Greer or whatever. Yeah, the talent is here that somebody could go, oh, I could do something with this. I could go get my quarterback, whoever that may be, and do it. And here's the thing, too. I see a lot of comments on, too, and I want to thank everybody tuning in. Crazy Annie, DP, Christopher Jones.
What's up, everybody?
Everybody, thank you
Hands
all
up, all you guys. Thank you.
Fins Talk Sports Network. If you haven't yet, smash that like and subscribe button. We got so much great content on the channel. We got great people on the channel all the time. I mean, Anthony's his first time on here, coming on for post game. I really enjoy having him in. Cat for Life has been popping on. Neil when he can, but you know he is passionate about this. He wanted to hop on. Dolphins Thirsty. Great show on Tuesday night, Real Talk Fins Talk. But of course, great content in the morning with JPF Scout Justin for Dolphins Daily on his YouTube page. And of course, the one and only Fish Tank Hank, my partner in crime on Saturdays. So, but let's just say, I know a lot of people talk about Tua, and you know, rightfully so. He is our franchise quarterback. As Fish Tank has said before, it starts and ends with the quarterback. And, you know, I know, you know, a lot of people with defense will say, well, you know, it's more than the quarterback. You know, why are we always talking about Tua when we lose? Well, when we win, we're always talking about Tua. It's always, you know, when we win the game, everybody's saying Tua. And then when the Dolphins lose, it's, oh, but it's this guy. This guy dropped the ball. This guy did this. This guy did that. The fact is, no, it's not all on Tua. You know, he didn't even play today, and people bring up Tua. The fact of the matter is that, because I see his name in the comments, I just want to say, he's not the only problem with this team. There's a lot more bigger problems with this football team than Tua as the franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
My opinion, and I know Fish Tank, I've talked to Fish Tank in the past, and Neil, who's been there forever with me, and Evan and whatever. He's not the only problem, but he's not the solution either.
Right.
No.
You know, he's not the solution. And that sucks to say, because we did spend a 5th overall draft choice.
Yes, we
and
did.
I know a lot of Dolphin fans who otherwise would wipe their hands of the situation, but otherwise say, no, we're sticking with it because I believe in this kid and I believe in this football team and I want to see the best. But the writing is on the wall. If it's not play, we know he could play. He's shown that with this offense.
He's not the bone. You're right.
He just can't. He can't stick it through. And again, in the big games, which is in December, when you're making a run for the playoffs, not getting it done. Play call or not, it is play calling. I've wrote that down. Play calling.
He's not available, Bobby.
That's true. You know, and you're right.
No, Neil was right too. Neil said that availability is an ability.
Exactly. But again, it's not just play calling in this situation. We talked about Mike McDaniel. It's also execution. There's a lot of players not doing their job, whether it's not running the right routes or throwing the ball correctly. Doing this, there's such a, like Neil brought up earlier, a foundational issue. Yes, the quarterback is one of the issues, because if he's here and he's starting, the Dolphins have a shot. I don't believe what Evan said earlier that if the Tua was playing this football game, we win the game. To me, that's BS. That's not true. I don't see it. We lost 4 straight. We weren't going to win this football game.
Yeah, Tua's already proven and shown.
Yeah.
It's not
Ralphie
changing.
boy. Ralphie is in the house.
What's up, Ralph?
Just gonna, I like to call people out, but especially him. That's my stepfather right there, and I saw my mother up there too. I gotta show them some love. But guys, it is frustrating as a Dolphin fan. And you got to look. I know the Jets beat us earlier in the season, but we look at the Jets and they just lost against Seattle, and you go, oh, we have a shot to beat them next week. We could beat them, but it's at a point now. It's you got to say in the back of your head, can we though? They got top 10. Listen. They lost against Seattle, but they got a top 10 defense, and Miami has shown they're not very good against top 10 defenses. The San Francisco 49ers, the Patriots today, and then the Jets are in the top 10 as well. The Jets have a great defense.
And we might have Skyler for all we know going. So
well, Teddy Bridgewater has a broken finger, so it might be Skylar Thompson playing. So the fact is, that's why I know a lot of people said season's not over. It is not. We know that it's not over, but it does have that feeling, and that sucks because I know a lot of just Dolphin fans, because whether you're I'm 34 years old, Hank, Ralph, Dolphins Thirsty, Rob, Steve Malloy, his co-host, it starts with those guys. It comes here with the second generation, third generation, whatever you would call it, Anthony and Neil. We've been through all this crap already for years and years. How many times? And Rob has said it, and I said it earlier before the year. Because we go, oh, we got Tyreek Hill. We got Mike McDaniel, who has done nothing. He only coached one, offensive coach for 1 year in San Francisco. We're going to the Super Bowl. This is it. This is the difference. And then it ends up not being the case. We did that with Sue. We did that with Brandon Marshall and Chad Henne. We did that with Ryan Tannehill and Mike Wallace and Adam Gase. It's the same.
We win the offseason many years.
Hey, if we were if the offseason was a championship, MFers, we'd be the New England Patriots and Dallas Cowboys of the offseason. We got so many rings.
Yeah, but those players are always hurt.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too.
Same thing.
That's
always
why
hurt.
I've called for it since the beginning, and that's what Evan brought up earlier, is that we need a whole clean slate. And listen, I know Ross. Yes, it starts and ends with Ross in regards of decisions, but let's be real. Stephen Ross ain't going anywhere. So what can we get done? What can be done? We need to let go of Chris Greer. We need
Bobby, I would also say this about Ross.
Go ahead.
I don't mind an owner who open his pocketbook and pay whatever.
Yeah.
When blank checks. That's great about Ross, but it's just the people he hires
to
get the players.
Nobody could say, no, you're absolutely right. Let me just say, no one could say that Stephen Ross doesn't care about the team. Stephen Ross just makes the bad decisions of who he brings in to run the team. Let me tell you something. He is any general manager or team president's goal, dream as an owner. I want this player. All right, here's the check. Go get him.
No, he's a dream owner for sure.
He would do it. Other than that, like business side, when you talk about the stadium, the organization, the merch, the promotional, he is A+. When it comes to business decisions,
everything.
It doesn't work out, and that's just because of the people he picks to run the organization. That's why I know everybody says Stephen Ross. Look, we can't do nothing about Stephen Ross. Chris Greer, Flores. I'm not Flores. Excuse me. That ain't that sad. McDaniel. That's why I think it needs to be a clean slate, and I hate that because I like McDaniel. And as a person, I think he does have a future. I just think it's this. Now I really don't think it's with the Dolphins. He'll get laid off by Miami, go back to San Francisco and get hired someone else. But I don't think it's a mistake. And I know I talked this with Hank earlier in the year. It is not an accident that Miami was the only team that McDaniel talked to. It's not an accident. Again,
I think what was going on. I think that like I said, nobody when it came down to hiring coaches, I think that none of those coaches wanted to deal with Tua. And I think that McDaniels wanted the head coaching job so bad. It was like, all right, I'll put up with Tua. I'll put up with him. And I mean, like I said, with the players that we have, brought out the best in Tua. Not saying he can't do it. It's just Tua just not ready yet. And and like I said, the team that we have now, we're a ready now team. We can't wait. I mean, we only have a good year.
Let me just say this.
And these players.
Great point.
Start cutting them.
Let me just
Howard. It's time to get rid of him. because he's done.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
No,
been
I agree. I think it's a trade bait in my scenario with Howard. But
now
let me
we
just
lost
say,
all the picks. What are
Christopher
we gonna do?
Jones. Let me just say this, man. First off, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you, everyone tuning in. I thank you so much. Smash it like subscribe. But let me just say this: Ross is a real estate mogul, not a football guy. That's what Greer is supposed to do. Many around the nation love Greer, minority GM. We know that Ross is not a football guy. Usually the owners, unless you're Jerry Jones, it's not a football guy. But
Yeah.
the fact of the matter is, and somebody says poor judge of talent and character. I think one of his biggest flaws is loyalty. Again, we just went through the list of GMs and coaches. He fires one guy, keeps another, then he fires this guy, keeps this guy because he thinks it's the next big thing. He just keeps doing it till it works. The fact of the matter is, he makes the wrong decision on who to run the football team. Tannenbaum leaves. He goes, okay, Greer, even though you've been here for 20 years of losing football, I'm going to promote you to GM. And look what the hell happens. And I know, but he brought in Bradley Chubb. I know that's an argument. Tua, he's brought in Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. He's drafted Javon Holland. He's did this. He's done that. It's not just about the stars. Because guess what? If it was about the stars, again, offseason champs, Miami's would win football games. It's bigger than that. It's the depth of the offensive line. It's the depth at the quarterback. It's the depth at the running back. Linebackers has always been an issue.
Yes.
The winning general managers, the winning football teams make these decisions. If they bring in guys, you go, who the hell was that? They bring them in. And guess what? This guy goes down. Let's say Jimmy G goes down at quarterback. They bring in Brock Purdy. Now people are talking about Brock Purdy being one of the young start quarterbacks in the NFL. Are you serious? The organization, the general manager of the San Francisco 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, is the true quarterback guru there. It's the foundation. We could say all we want about Stephen Ross and what he is and all this whatnot. It doesn't come down to him when it comes to that. It's Chris Greer and whoever the head coach is at that time.
Yeah.
Let's stop pretending. Yes, the NFL loves Chris Greer, and it is awesome for the NFL, for the Dolphins, minority ownership, minority GM, all that whatnot. But we are all Dolphin fans. We want to win. I'm not looking for brownie points. I'm looking for wins. I'm looking for championships. So, and right now, Chris Greer, as much as I like him as a person, and yeah, he's drafted some good guys and signed some good guys, but it's bigger than that. Depth issues.
Not like he hasn't had a shot in the barrel.
Let's figure out.
And I think Dolphins fans need to understand this part about what Bobby's saying is that Ross is loyal to a fault. If we want to look back at this past offseason and all the tumultuous, all of the crisis and chaos that happened, remember who stood with Stephen Ross when people were out there saying that Ross is firing minority coaches.
Oh, Greer stood with him. Yeah.
Greer stood with him.
Yeah.
And think about that and understand that Greer probably ain't going anywhere because that probably meant a lot to Stephen Ross. And Ross wasn't even here for 12
That's why I'll tell you, if it's me, and we talked about firing McDaniel. If you're not firing Greer, you don't fire McDaniel.
Well,
I'm done recycling it. And
that's
why I don't think it's going to happen because I think it's more likely he fires McDaniel and keeps Greer, whoever the new head coach is.
That's true.
He has his loyalty, and that if you have a boss like that, isn't that something that you could, that's great. You have but football, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Look what the Titans did. I'm in Nashville. I'm in Franklin, Tennessee. The Titans, they've been in the AFC.
Clarksville, dog.
Yay. Say what?
You're in Clarksville, Tennessee, man.
Hey, brother, there you go.
What's going
All
on,
right,
man?
Hit it up.
Clarksville, right on that military line.
Ooh, I'm right by. Hey, the airplane's laying right behind my house, man.
Hey, brother, I'm Franklin, Tennessee. But I'm going to say, and you'll know with me. Look, the Titans were in the AFC Championship just a couple years ago. Guess what they just did? They fired their general manager, John Robinson.
Yeah,
He's had questionable draft choices, and all this. He traded AJ Brown. He's done a lot of things, but they were just in the AFC Championship, and they had the balls, Amy Strunk, to fire their GM. And now they're talking about firing Vrabel. Are you kidding me?
Oh no, Vrabel will have a job tomorrow.
Can I just say, and I said this already, they fire Vrabel and Miami fires McDaniel, you bring me Vrabel right now.
Please, now.
Bring me Vrabel right now.
Hurry
But
up.
Sean Payton.
We'll have Derrick Henry in no time.
Hell
I
yeah.
want Sean
Come
Payton.
on.
Yes, sir. I know, Hank.
That actually might be the perfect situation for Greer because Vrabel might go there, even if Greer's still there. and Greer may get to keep Tua for another year if that's the case. But
my thing is how Vrabel, because like I said, I grew up right down the street. I'm from Nashville, but I grew up right down the street from the Titans. I've watched. If you look at Vrabel and this Titan defense, I don't know if y'all watched them last Thursday, but these guys, the depth, they've had nobody. And they played with one of the top teams in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. They played with no depth. Like, they played with people from the crowd, and they look good. But if we do that, we don't like you said, the depth with us is just horrible. We're just picking anybody off the street and just throwing them out there and say, hey, look, here's the playbook, try to figure out something. You know what I mean? That bothers me, man. We're struggling. And then like you said, no depth. Teddy Bridgewater, we have nobody with a brain. You know what I mean? McDaniels, he frustrates me, like, especially going for these fourth downs. And I'm like, okay, we're way back at our 10. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? You know
I love it when he does it, Anthony. I love it. It gets my heart going.
I can't, man. I'm so sick of my toes about to pull the carpet up because I'm mad and frustrated. You know what I mean? It drives me crazy. And I'm like, God, dude. And then, like I said, man, right now, we need a head coach that knows what to do. You know what I mean? Like, we need a vet head coach. Vrabel, I would love for him to come down here because not only he has his team in the playoffs every year, for the 5 years straight, he had his team in the playoffs. We have yet to been to the playoffs since Tannenbaum. You know what I mean? Tannehill, whatever you want to call him, Tannehill, whatever it is.
Matt Moore, I don't actually. Matt Moore, Ryan Tannehill.
Matt Moore,
yeah, he got hurt. Tannehill got hurt that year.
We didn't play Pittsburgh, but we had what's his name? Adam Gates.
G-Man, the Dolphin fan, thank you for tuning in. Man, I love that. I would be all down for Mike Singletary. I love Mike Singletary, man.
My man. Like I said, but we can't just have like a
while back.
defense.
You did, Hank.
We need
I know we need more offense again.
No. Can I say? I knew you guys were going to say that. Let me first say with the rookie coach, this offense, this team in general, was okay for a rookie coach before Tyreek Hill and Armstead. The moment they traded for Armstead and Tyreek Hill, this should have been a veteran coach. Because this window is so small. With a rookie coach, you got that 3-year window. We can build this team. Let the Tua and blah 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 with McDaniel grow and see what they can do. When you traded for Tyreek Hill, and you have Jalen Waddle there with Armstead, your window got so close. Even though you just did it, it was so small that you have no time to see if your 3rd-year, 5th round overall pick quarterback is the guy or not.
Right.
You don't have time to wait to see if your rookie coach could figure out how to coach a damn football game. You don't have time. When they, of course, it fell on their lap and Greer said, okay, I have to make this move. But the moment you did that, that's when the gloves came off. And it said, just like if they lose the state team, they're out of the playoffs, all bets are off with the Dolphins. Ross could go AWOL and fire everybody. The other thing is, we said in regards of if we had to get a new coach, and I know that's hearsay right now because we don't know what the future holds. But I know people say we need an offensive coach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we do. It's what's the issue right now with this football team? It's offense.
We're limited.
Well, you need a good offensive coordinator.
Yes, sir. The fact of the matter is you need a coach who coaches the entire football team. That's what Vrabel does best. Vrabel is he's a defensive coach because he played defense and he was for the Patriots and coached the Texans and now he runs the Titans. The thing that he does best, he delegates the whole staff. He doesn't run the defense. You don't see him on the sideline talking defense and doing all this. He is offense, defense, the entire team. He will get in your face. That is a football head coach. That's what we need. We don't need no specialty coaches.
Yes.
Whether it's offense or defense. The only reason why I say defensive coach is because we see what's going on with the defense. But we need, and Evan just pointed out what I'm trying to say, we need a head coach, a coach who handles everything. Hire your offensive coordinator, hire your defensive coordinator, but you're involved in the football game. You're delegating tasks. None of this, we need to focus on this side. We need to focus on that side. No, we need to focus on the team because the team is the issue. Because, look, we have a great offense. Remember how many years? Well, even this year, we need an offensive coach. We go get McDaniel. We were interviewing Dayball. Guess what? Offense, even though, they figured it out, was doing great. We were top 10. Where's defense? Now, fire Boyer. It's the same rotation. We need to get a coach who coaches the whole football team.
Singletary.
Well, let me say this. I agree. I totally agree with you, man. And I will say this: if we hire, let's just say out of nowhere we hire Vrabel, a lot of coaches see like a lot of the, I guess the offensive coordinators and the people that the coaches that want to come up in the game, they see that we hire Vrabel, they're gonna want to come to here and be like, all right, I see what they're trying to build. Let's go work. You know what I mean? With us hiring like, McDaniels, I mean, nobody really knows this guy. You know what I mean? So they're kind of like, all right, I guess we'll try to see what he does. I mean, I think to me, he's one dimensional. I'm not good with that. He knows nothing about a defense to me. Boyer, God, I don't want to. He has his games and he has his games. He's just horrible. The zero blitz and all this other stuff. But I don't think that's the problem. He's dealing with what he has. He don't really have a lot of players that's available right now when it comes to defense. But I will say, as far as our head coach, we might have to look into getting a new head coach, somebody who's like a vet, who knows what he's doing, who knows what he wants and what he's looking for on the team that that we have right now. Because like you said, the players that we have, we need somebody that has experience coaching, not nobody who's a running back coach or a special teams coach as a head. Then we move him as a head coach. That's what we're doing. You know what I mean? We're just hiring a special teams coach and we putting, oh yeah, you can go ahead and be the head coach. I mean, we're just wasting time.
Well, that's why for me,
I agree. I think Bobby, you said it best tonight. If the Dolphins win this week against the Jets and Buffalo knocks off the Patriots for us and we sneak into the playoffs, Ross is probably going to buy that hook, line, and sinker because we haven't had that crap since he's been here. So he's going to say, oh, we won, let's go. And I think that's going to save their jobs probably. I really do.
Yeah.
Unless they have an underhanded deal with a Sean Payton already, that's, just going to be like a dagger.
I mean, hey, if Harbaugh, if he jump in and say, hey, look, I want to come back to the NFL, we need to be trying to like, all right, come on, man, let's go.
Well, we know that. We know that Ross loves him some Harbaugh, and we know he's been chasing him for years.
Yeah, but he said last year that he didn't want to be the guy that
Michigan more. Harbaugh needs to come out and say, I'm going to the pros, and then you'll see Ross jump. Ross is not going to go to Harbaugh and say, hey, here's this much money, go.
Right, because I think he loves his Michigan more than he loves Miami. So
we love him too, man.
I
give you my money.
Some Jim Harbaugh.
Please, I give you my house. Please.
Oh, believe me, I like Jim Harbaugh. I like him more than John Harbaugh for sure.
Oh, for sure. Hey, but you know what? It like you said, like I said at the earlier of the year, was just veteran coach, and it just comes the way it is. And I've defended McDaniel as well early in the year, and that's why I told Evan when Evan talked to me, and I said it on Twitter. I'm not even mad. I'm just. It's just what it is now. I mean, it is same old Dolphins. I love what G-Man said. Dolphins shouldn't be a starter job, and that's what it was. They hired there's no confirmation.
We've been the starter job ever since.
Yes,
I mean, forever.
That's why I didn't want any more rookie coaches. Adam Gase, Joe Philbin, Cam Cameron,
yes,
Brian Flores,
Adam
Mike
Gase.
McDaniel. Yeah, it's the same thing over and over again, and the Dolphins do
Insanity.
it. People buy into it, like Rob said. I've been saying it all year. Before the year, they buy into it, and guess what? Now at the end of the year, we're going, here we go again.
Yeah,
and
here we go again.
What it is, and the fact is well, I don't. We'll
I think everybody wanted a veteran coach. To be honest with you,
yeah, I know most people did. I know I did.
Too many fans that wanted a rookie coach, but when they started looking into rookie coaches, like I told you. Yeah, I'd take McDaniel if we have to have
the rookie coaches. Coach, I liked them. I agree. Much better than the Dallas guy that they looked at. Then whatever. So.
Kellen Moore. Those are the rookie coaches. Brian Dable, who's done a great job with the Giants, but he didn't want to come here. I know somebody brought up Sean Payton again with Tua. He didn't want to come here because of Tua. Listen, I think Payton already laid his cards on the table. If Payton comes to Miami, Tua's done. He doesn't.
Yeah, he's out. He's gone.
Yeah, it don't matter anymore. But my thing was I wanted a veteran coach. I remember Hank knows this because we did the shows together. We talked about it. It's like Peterson from the Jaguars now. It was Dan Quinn from the Falcons, but now he's in the Cowboys team coordinator, who knows how to build a staff, who's been to the Super Bowl and lost it, but he went to the Super Bowl. Leslie Frazier. I was talking about just give me a veteran coach. I don't want to see these rookie coaches. And then they get, people started selling on McDaniel, whatever. We hire McDaniel. It's your football team. You support your team. But lo and freaking behold, here we are again. And Fish Tank and I will be doing our off-season thing where we never take a break. There's no breaks with Fin's Talk Sports Network or Fin's Talk Today. We'll be talking about rumors, reports. We'll be talking about if this guy's getting fired, if this guy's getting hired, let's go trade for this guy, and we'll do our usual thing. We'll go at it. And
well, next week, a week from tomorrow, is the coaches when they all get fired that don't make the playoffs.
Yeah. You talk about Black Friday, got Black Monday coming up.
Yeah, we got Black Monday coming up.
How many of us, let's be real, let's say the Dolphins, how many of us, well, at least right now, we don't know what's happening next week, but we have an idea. I think we all do, despite our fandom. How many of you actually get up and look at your phone first thing Monday morning to see if our guy got fired?
If they lose and don't make the playoff, if they make the playoffs, then that's thrown out the window, of course. Say if the Dolphins lose.
Of course. No, obviously, if they make the playoffs, that ain't going to happen. But come on, like you said, knowing what's going to our scenario, and especially with the way the Dolphins played against top 10 defenses, I know what the Jets look on offense, but they got a stellar defense. I know they just lost against Seattle, Miami, they already beat the Dolphins this year. I don't know how. Let me do this, and we don't do these spoilers because me and Hank do predictions on Saturday for us, but I know Thirsty does his predictions later on, but Anthony and Neil, you could go right ahead, but I'll just say, let's just do, for me, Rob, and Hank, we'll do our confidence levels, and you guys can straight up say, man, I don't think we're going to do it, or I think they're going to do it. Hank, I'll start with you. What is your confidence level in Miami winning next week, right now? Of course, this can change by Saturday, sir.
Yes, I know. I have to consider a few things. Skyler starting is one thing.
Yep.
Defense was without quite a few players. Offense was missing players. But I think these players are going to come back and start a lot that we were missing. So my confidence level is right in the middle. It's medium.
Okay, so about 50-50, like Crazy Auntie. Let me just say for Cap, and Cap says he just jumped on a live stream, and in less than 5 minutes, somebody told him to go to hell. You don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I can't stand that, dude. We're all Dolphin fans. Everyone has a different opinion. Yeah. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. We're all fans of the Miami Dolphins. I'm not a fan of one player. I'm a fan of all the players because they wear the helmet. They're a Dolphin. That's why. But when people start going off on people because they have a difference of opinion, Fish Tank and I butt heads more than anybody, probably, well, next to Evan, probably. But we have a successful show, and obviously I have a successful network. We all have different, I don't know how many times I tell you we argue on the show, but never to the point of saying you're a jackass, you're stupid, you're this, you're that, whatever. No, everyone has a right to opinion. That's what I love about my network or the network. Everyone has a right. That's why I let you all come in. We have a good time. We talk Dolphins because we love Dolphins. We love football. Mm-hmm. But I hate when people do that shit, that just, that grind my gears. But 50-50 for Fish Tank on the Jets next week. Rob, where are you standing on it?
70% chance to win. I'm going higher than 50-50. I think we're going to, for whatever reason, I just have a feeling we're going to beat the Jets. We're going to have, even if with Skyler, we're going to come up with something to beat the Jets. And, yes, the Jets will come in motivated just to ruin our season for sure, to make sure we don't sneak in. But I just have a feeling that we're going to beat the Jets. It's just my gut.
All right. I have a bigger gut, but probably a lower percentage than you. Neil, my man, where are you standing on this Jets game next week?
0.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Damn.
Come on, man.
0 because, because it's over.
Let me go get my rosary. Where's my damn Virgin Mary song? You need Jesus.
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, Neil. You're going to be pleasantly surprised.
The only way that I think it happens is if everyone like Chubb, Armstead come back, and X somehow remembers to play the way he used to, and Tua plays.
Oh,
other than that.
Okay.
Honestly, even if all that happened, I'd probably be like 30%. Because I just don't think this team
I am closer to you. I am closer
has
to
it
you.
anymore. I think this team is shot. I think this game killed their spirit. I really do. I think that they just I just saw a thing from Tyreek Hill where he said that they're stuck in a mud puddle. I mean, it doesn't get more clear than that. This team got shot today, and I don't think they can get up.
Okay. I think that's all right. Let me just say for me, and then we'll get to Anthony here. For me, it's 40% because I just think it's a top 10 defense. Miami's shown whether I know Evan just said if Tua rushes back. with Tua, without Tua, to me, it's 40%. The Dolphins have shown with top 10 defense that they can't do nothing much with it. They've lost 5 straight now. It's just the Dolphins are sinking faster than the Titanic when it hit the iceberg. Anthony, what's your feeling on it?
I'm going all in. We winning this game.
100%. Okay, all right.
I'm going all in, baby.
I like you, Anthony.
All in. I think if
I knew Anthony was on here for a reason. Good job, Anthony.
If they get Skylar ready, because I don't think Tua is going to be ready, but I think if they get him Skylar ready, ready to go, we're going to win this game. We're going to win this game.
Yeah,
Ken
Parker nailed it. Yes.
Yeah, Ken Parker, I think is that's true. Knowing the Dolphins' luck, our luck as fans, the Dolphins will win. Which I hope I'm always wrong when I say it. I said 40%. Of course, I said it's a week from now. But if they win, I think Pats win, and then we're still out of it.
We're winning. We're gonna win. I ain't worried about it.
All right, brother. I got you.
Anything? The Pats are 8-point underdogs, and the Dolphins are 4-point favorites.
I'm cool with that. We can be 100-point down underdogs. I'm cool. We're gonna win this game.
Oh, I think we got a new guy on the network here. Holy crap! I like it.
I'm confident, dude. Because we can win.
The Jets are going to have their golf bags packed. They're going to just be ready to go hit the golf course in Florida.
If we lose,
don't say that. Don't say that.
If we lose, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna.
You're gonna say my bad. You're gonna say my bad. That's the thing. That's the thing about Dolphin fans, man. We've gone through so much. It's like, it sucks to say that, but it's like every year we go, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. Then we come out with a black eye, bloody nose.
It's gonna be like Rocky. It's gonna be a Rocky fight, man. We're gonna win at the end. Bloody nose. Black eyes, we're gonna win this match. We're gonna be hard.
Yes, Evan. It's so funny about Evan this type. The coin toss has been the weirdest thing for the Dolphins. In the beginning of the season, they were winning the coin toss all the time. Now we're losing it, and the other team gets the ball first. It's just weird how this season everything. And that's just a 50-50 lucky thing, and it's just weird.
That's good. Was there?
Can I? I'm gonna say this though, man, because I think it's a lack of preparation, especially when it comes to Skylar. When we had Teddy, and throughout the quarterback situation throughout the season, I don't think that we've prepped for every quarterback. So, and I think that's another issue. When we brought Skylar in, he was just kind of like a loose cannon. He didn't know what was going on. You can tell until he finally got into the game and was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. At the end, even though it was garbage time, he still kind of like stepped in and made
He made some nice throws. I give him that.
Yeah, so I mean, if we prep him and get him ready, I think we got a chance of beating it, because the thing is, in beating the Jets, we don't necessarily have to rely on throwing the ball. We can run the ball on them.
And I think
we ran the ball on them last time.
Skylar should take off. We haven't had that dynamic for a long time. Have him take off more. Have it in his head like he can run. We haven't had a quarterback that can run like him. He can run. So I'd say get him running. So
I got a question, Bobby, though. Let me ask y'all a question. If we go in, let's say we lose the game, all right, all season hits. What type of quarterback do you want? Do you want a Lamar Jackson, or do you want a Carr? I guess David Carr. Do you want him? Who would you go for? Pocket quarterback or
Well, in regards to Lamar Jackson, the truth is, I know a lot of people bring that up, and I get it, right? I mean, and again, if you put a healthy Lamar Jackson in this offense with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, the speed of this offense will be unmatched. However, the only thing against that is that more than likely Lamar Jackson's going to get franchise tagged this coming season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's Derek Carr, I think, is a very talented quarterback, and maybe with a coach who knows how to use him or whatever, he might be successful. I don't mind Derek Carr.
And he can't wear 12 here, Evan, unless they unretire it. But So.
Yeah, I think they work it out. Is he talking about Tom Brady? Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying TB12, but that.
What was his number in college? 10, wasn't it? Wasn't it 10? Or am I wrong?
No, I think it was 10.
I think he was 10. Yeah, they could give him 10.
Tyreek Hill.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But future minority owner, yes, stating the obvious. I will calm down with the obvious. Me and Fish Tank, we were talking about the obvious yesterday. Hank didn't like that word. Take it easy. We don't want to talk about the obvious. We don't. I love my boy Fish Tank, man. We and him have a lot of fun every Saturday.
I'm going to use this time to say bye, guys. I got to run.
Yeah, we're about to take it easy, man.
Ends up to all you guys. Anthony, thank you for joining. Sorry, Bobby, I'm acting like I'm the producer today, but Anthony was awesome to have on here. So thank you, Anthony.
Great.
Thank you.
Neil, you're awesome also. And, of course, Hank, I see you all the time. So you're awesome.
Thirsty?
Too. Yeah. All right,
Appreciate you,
guys.
Rob.
And
Dude.
Happy New Year to all of you. And there's
Happy
still
New Year.
hope. Neil, give me at least a 1% before I turn off. Just say that you got a 1%.
Happy New
Don't
Year.
do that, Neil. Don't do that. Don't do that.
He said
Slow
no.
your hand, brother. We don't want that.
All right,
Come on,
guys.
man.
Happy New Year. Fins up.
Watch Rob tomorrow on Dolphins Daily. Dolphins
Yeah.
Thursday YouTube.
Thank you. Thank you for the love. Thank you. And
Oh,
Evan, you're still great, Evan.
But we're coming up. We're about 8:46, or excuse me, 9:46, going at 10 o'clock Eastern. But man, it's such a great show. Everyone tuning in. I want to thank you all. You're watching the post-game show on the Fitz Talk Sports Network. Anthony's in the house. He's joining us. You got Fish Tank Hank. Are my eyes deceiving me? No, they're not. He's here on post-game. And of course, you got Neil, friend in the network, always on, always doing stuff. He was Goon Squad. He's Dolphins. He's all of the above. He's, he's all over the place. The marathon man, Evan too. Corey Sampson, go Bills. Hey, Corey, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Bills suck, but I guess I'm not just saying as a Dolphins fan, but we know what the truth is. That's what it was. But man, let me just thank everybody again tuning in. We're running up to that hour. Anthony, man, it is so cool. It was so great to have you on, brother. Talk Dolphins. You are welcome back. You're in Clarksville. I don't know if you have a Twitter. If you got Twitter, find me or reach out. I'd like to have you on more often. I think you're great.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
For sure, brother. And at Fish Tank, Tuesday
Yes, sir.
night, you got the Fins bandwagon with Evan. Hopefully he's come down off the negativity train. He gets back on the positivity bandwagon with you.
Well, he won't have a choice with me.
That's right. Of course, you got Real Talk Fitz Talk on Tuesday night with Steve Malloy and Dolphins Thirsty Rob. I want to make sure I get this right. We are coming up on that hour. You got 9:30 Eastern, which it should pop up already. You got Bottoms Up, Fins Up with Mike the Hebrew Hammer Brown and his father, Lewis. And then, of course, tomorrow night, we got Beer and Sports Podcast, 8:15 Eastern, college football and the NFL playoffs they are going over. We got a lot of great content on the network, guys. A lot of great Dolphins content, sports content. We got wrestling. We got it all. We got basketball. And we got a lot of good draft content coming out. So smash that like and subscribe button. If you want to be a part of it, you want to join, talk football, reach out to me at Bobby Fins Talk on Twitter. You can reach out to Fish Tank. He'll let me know at Fins to Win. Anthony, do you have a Twitter handle?
Oh, I don't. Not yet. I don't. I do not.
Okay. Well, when you do, reach out to me. Of course, come back here if you want to send me, hit me up here, whatever. We'll figure that out. And of course, Neil, what's your Twitter handle, brother?
At Neil Cordero 2, NealCordero 2.
Yes, sir. So everyone else, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. Like and subscribe. Always, Fins up.
Yes, sir.